Chapter 13. The Beautiful, Beautiful Heron. One of my playmates and I were making little cows out of clay. The clay was sticky and smooth since it came from a whitened hill. It didn't fall apart the way clay with sand in it does. It was the beginning of the rainy season, and there was a light drizzle. So we were modeling our clay in the shelter of a big tree. Presently, two of the older boys from the other side of the village came along. One of them was very strong, and he had the nickname of Kaivgai, which means big buffalo. He was carrying a live heron inside his shirt. "Where did you get the heron?" my friend asked Kaivgai. "Did you hit it with your slingshot?" "Yes, I shot it down by the pond," answered Kaivgai. "And I hit one too," said the other boy, "but it got away." "Take it out and let me have a look at it," I said to Kaivgai. Kaivgai pretended to be reluctant, but he finally took the bird out of his shirt. They'd tied it up with a vine so it couldn't get away. I took the bird in my hands and immediately fell in love with it. What a beauty! Its feathers were as white as milk, and its beak and legs were a lovely greenish blue. How wonderful! I thought to have a heron for a pet. I was very fond of pets and at that time had a dog, a cat, and a big hen. The hen was just then sitting on 14 eggs, and I was already looking forward to having many baby chicks when the eggs hatched. But now suddenly, I could think of nothing except how very much I longed to have Kaivgai's beautiful heron. Kaivgai could look at my face and tell what I was thinking. He said, "Do you want it for a pet?" "Oh, yes," I answered quickly. "Will you give it to me?" "Sure, you can have it, but you must give me something in return." "I want 10 cigarettes. None of the boys in my group smoked, but Kaivgai and his friend were older and had already started smoking in secret. "Oh, I want the heron very much, but I don't have any cigarettes," I said. "But your aunt, the one who lives in your house, doesn't she? Get some of hers." "Oh, she wouldn't give me any, and I wouldn't dare take them without asking." "No, I couldn't do that. I'll give you some money instead." "No, money won't do me any good. It's cigarettes we want. If you won't trade for cigarettes, we'll find someone who will." I was overcome with disappointment at his words. Did I dare steal some of my aunt's cigarettes? No, that wouldn't be right, and surely I'd get a beating. "Well, so long," said the other boy. And then Kaivgai took the heron out of my hands. The bird began beating its wings wildly as though it didn't want to leave me. My heart was beating hard. All I could think about was that somehow, anyhow, I simply had to have that heron. "What do you think I should do?" I asked my friend. But he only shook his head and said I'd have to make up my own mind. Kaivgai and his friend were walking away, taking the heron with them. It was still beating its wings and seemed to be calling to me. Suddenly, I could stand it no longer. "All right," I shouted, "it's a trade. Bring back the heron and I'll get the cigarettes." Running to the house, I went straight upstairs to my aunt's cupboard. With clay-covered hands, I took out the cigarette tin and counted out exactly 10 cigarettes, which left the tin almost empty. Then I carefully put the tin back in its place and ran back to where the boys were waiting. "Here," I said to Kaivgai, "here are 10 cigarettes." He handed me the heron, and that's the way I became the proud owner of the most beautiful heron in the world. I took the bird home, made a cage for it out of an old box and some bamboo bars, and gave it something to eat. Then I sat down and simply watched the lovely bird until after sundown, when I could hear voices in the kitchen where supper was being made. I heard my aunt's scolding voice saying, "Who's been stealing my cigarettes?" She asked everybody in turn, except me. She knew I didn't smoke and hence never imagined I could have taken her cigarettes. My aunt thought the thief was my uncle. As I listened to my aunt's scolding words, I became more and more ashamed. Uncle was being called a thief and a liar because of something I had done. I ran into the room where they were and spoke quickly. "Please forgive me, aunt, but I am the one who took your cigarettes." What? My aunt and uncle both spoke at the same time. I wanted a heron for a pet so badly, and 10 cigarettes was the price. I just had to have that heron, I said, trying to make them understand. "Becoming a thief just for an old heron," screamed my aunt. And uncle joined in the scolding. "Aren't you ashamed?" "No, no," I told them. "It's a beautiful, beautiful heron. I just had to have it." But I could see. They didn't understand. "Why didn't you ask me?" said my aunt. "I was afraid you'd say no." Well, anyone who doesn't have the courage to tell the truth is a coward. "I promise never to do it again," I said. "All right," my aunt said, lighting one of her remaining cigarettes and beginning to smile a little. "This time I'll forgive you. But don't you ever do such a thing again, or else I'll have to start calling you a thief." "No, no, aunt, please, don't. Now that I have told the truth, I'm not really a thief." "No, you're not a thief," she said, patting my shoulder and smiling broadly. "Come on. Then, show uncle and me this beautiful, beautiful heron." And she laughed out loud.